What I'll do is I'm just going to share my screen. One second, guys. Why can't I share my screen? I'll just share my screen with you. There we go. Here we go. So right now here is this is one of our Airbnbs, guys. You guys will come into this presentation. Kitchen. I do want to show you this. This is pretty cool. You guys can get this on Amazon. We have a fantastic entrepreneur who sells this. The link is in. So guys, by the way, just for some context, this place is in Kilimani. It's one of our Airbnbs. Let's just show you. Most of the people who come in here are diaspora, from Australia, Dubai, UK, wanting to see how can you, while you're overseas, be able to have an income stream through property, through Airbnb. And we're going to get into this webinar. So as we start off, I'll just show you guys. This is one of our Airbnbs in Nairobi, Kenya. This video is an apartment, an Airbnb for entrepreneurs. If you're in Nairobi, guys, I have the most amazing place to show you. Okay, welcome to. So just when you walk. So this is our place. Again, we'll go through this presentation. That is quite powerful. Thank you guys for joining. So yeah, I just have a look quickly. Place, that first impression means everything. And that's what I love about this place, guys. So we're gonna start off with the kitchen. You always want, as an entrepreneur coming, and I'm traveling to do now work, run the empire, just like yourself, you want to have a place that's clean, get settled, that guys. Smells well, and that can work. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Where are you from? Everything that you need here. So guys, let's get into it. We'll get started. Entrepreneurs or people who have. So yeah, this is one of our places as we get started. Let us know where you're from. Our next place, we will show you guys a live showroom in Nairobi, Kenya, around what's happening. Guys, there's never been a greater opportunity to be able to do this. I'll just record now. There's never been a greater opportunity to do this. Okay, let's see. You're from Sydney, Australia. So joining from Australia. I'm also from Australia. We have people here from Dubai, UK. Dubai, UK, and Australia are the main countries that people come in. And we're going to get into how to run Airbnb. And there's two ways you guys can do this. There's two powerful ways. Thank you for some of the people who have come along before. And we're actually going to get into it deeply. Okay, guys? So let's get started. Okay, so there's two ways you guys can get started into this. And one of those ways is without owning any property. You don't need to own any property to be able to bring this into an income stream while you're overseas, right? So just to get a lay of the room again, put in the chat number 1 if you want to learn how to do this without owning any property. Remember, to own some property, of course, it's a bit more higher, 20,000. It's a bit more capital required. So there's two ways you can do this. You can own property or you can do it without property. So if you want to learn how to do this without owning any property, put a number 1 in the chat. Put a number 1 in the chat if you want to learn how to do this without owning any property. Put a number 2 in the chat if you want to own a property. All right. Put it in the chat and I'm going to show you guys how you can do this. I don't own a property. The one that I'm showing you we'll get into it, but you don't need to own a property. Okay. So let's get into it because I think that's quite powerful. Some people. Afternoon. Number 1. Welcome, Tom. So number 1, we've had a number 1. So again, put it into the chat if you'd like to learn that. And this is going to be quite powerful as we get into this. Okay. Let's go. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for joining. Okay, so real estate in Kenya. Again, this is one of our partners within the real estate sector in Nairobi, Kenya, where as we go through this, we'll be showing you guys live showrooms. So again, a quick disclaimer, none of this is financial advice, guys. I'm not a financial advisor. I've just done this through plain experience, doing this myself while I'm here in Australia. Again, I've just shown here some Airbnb. This is not our Airbnb. This is, well, it's part of us as a family seeing run this, but this is Australia and Nairobi, Kenya through our mum's place. Like I said, I'm going to show you guys two ways to do this, one without owning and with owning. And then I'm going to show you some actual like powerful stuff, guys, incredibly powerful stuff. So this is through Airbnb. As you can see here, year in review 2025, $21,000 through Airbnb. Guys, that is like nearly someone, like, of course, on a bare minimum, that's someone's wage, bare minimum, right? If they're owning a really low wage, but $21,000 through Airbnb, right? And guys, you know, one of even these properties we don't own. Like I said, here in Australia, we even do this ourselves. We don't own the property, but it's a place you're not waiting for an apartment to be built. It's not like you're investing in an off-plan project or buying a place that it's going to take some time. This is time where people are already, you're in a market, people are already looking to you know, rent out, right? So that's why this is quite powerful. So you can see the numbers there, $21,000 on Airbnb, right? January 2026, this year, 700 Australian dollars. Now, a lot of you guys come from overseas, you're traveling. If we put US dollars, that's probably about 500 US dollars. In February, 1,330 Australian dollars. Now, again, to USD, that can come out to like probably about 5, 6, 700 US dollars. You can do the calculations, right? You can see this 2-bedroom apartment in Kilimani near Nairobi. Again, $750. Think about it if you're overseas right now. If you're in Dubai and you get a booking for your Airbnb for $750, how would that feel? And imagine you don't even own that property. You could own it or you don't own it. This one is owned. So if you want to see which one like I'm talking about here, let's just quickly go here. This is the apartment here that you can see. Is to literally have anything. When someone comes to the apartment, the numbers I'm showing you is this place here. This place is in Kilimani. It's in opposite Mama Oliech. If you've traveled to Nairobi or you're from Nairobi, comment if you know where this place is. This place is opposite Mama Oliech in Kilimani. So for those of you guys who have come late, like I said, there's two ways you can do this. You don't have to own property. Like I said, that you can do this with owning property or without owning property. I myself am doing this right now here in Australia without even per se owning a property. So comment in the chat number 1 or number 2, which one would apply to you? What do you want to get most out of this? But this is the place that I'm referring to here, as you can see, which is getting bookings through Airbnb. Furnished very, very nicely, with class, with elegance. You can see here. We're here in Australia and we're doing this, and we're going to show you guys how to do this as well. So let's go back to the presentation. So as you can see here, that's the income earned, right? Let's go here. Okay. Okay, the Diaspora Guide to Investing in Kenyan Real Estate. Now, guys, quickly, as you're here, I want this to be very intentional. You guys have given your time to be here, and I take time very, very serious. A lot of you guys have things to do. A lot of you guys have been thinking about this. You came across this ad on Facebook because you've been thinking about it for a long time. You've been thinking about, how can I do this? How can I earn an income stream through real estate in Kenya? And I'm not here to say this is a quick money scheme. If you're here and you want to make money quickly and get a return on investment right away, maybe this is the wrong place for you. These screenshots that I've showed you here, yes, it takes time. It's a process, right? This money here, it doesn't come straight away. There's nothing in life that's worth valuable that comes, okay, quickly. Maybe if it comes too quickly, that's even maybe a bad sign, right? So you can see this income here, $21,000 through, what we've been able to do here, that doesn't come straight away, right? You can see here 1,300. It does not come straight away. So that's one thing I want to be very, very clear. It is a long-term game, but you've been thinking about this. This is your time now to start building something back home in Kenya. Again, you don't have to own property to do this. So I just want you guys to do an activity with me. Everyone here, do an activity with me because you're here right now and you're giving your time. I want you to close your eyes. Everyone close their eyes. And I want you to just get into your imagination. Imagine when you look at your phone and you look at the income that has come through this month. $1,000 extra has come in through you having an Airbnb. You smile because it's like, wow, I don't even own this place. I paid rent back to the landlord, but I've got bookings. I've got a tenant. Someone's paying me $1,000 every month. What does that feel like? What about 1,500? Now you have 2, 3 apartments. You go back to Nairobi, you go to Mombasa on holiday, but you have 3 apartments bringing you an income. Bringing you an income. You didn't go to check into a clock. You didn't go to work on your job to do it and work 8 hours. That's just income because why? You're providing a service. Someone needs a place to stay, and your beautiful place is that place they can stay. Maybe you own this place. Maybe you owned it. You put in a lot of money into owning it, and now you're just getting the income from it, that passive income. This is a business, guys. Don't get me wrong. But what does that feel like? What does that feel like you're in Kenya and you're able to earn money through property, right? You took the risk and you did it. What does that feel like? So I want you to get into that feeling, okay? So look, let's get started now. So like I always like to say, a lot of you guys are here because what's your plan B? What about if you lose your job tomorrow? Look what's happening in Dubai right now. Did we know that? Was that in the business plan? Did we know things like that? Did you know COVID was going to happen? I don't know about you guys, but I didn't know COVID was going to happen. I didn't. It just happened. Do you know how many jobs were impacted because of COVID? Do you know how many people lost there's 2 people. There's a lot of people who made money during COVID too. So, that's life. There's opportunity and there's crisis in every opportunity. But think about how many lives were impacted even now, what's happening in Dubai, wherever in the world. So what's your plan B if it goes? So that's what we're going to get into now. So guys, I'm going to show you a quick example of my mum. This is my mom, as you can see here. She looks like she's 20 years old. She's very young and beautiful. She purchased an off-plan unit in 2020 for US 53,000 USD. So that was over 6 years ago. And that is this place like I'm showing you guys here. And like I said, there's a lot of people here who, again, you want to do this, you don't have to own property. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. And I just can't wait to show you guys this. You don't have to own property, but my mom, she bought this place and it was off plan, meaning it was not built yet. It was in the foundation stages of being built. Look how beautiful it is. That's me doing a tour of her amazing place, right? Me as a son, now I have Airbnbs. I got 2 apartments now that I don't own. But even now, if I have another place I need to go, I can go to mom's place. Let's say we're doing developments in my places, I can go to my mom's place and I can go and stay there and I don't need to pay rent. Sometimes I'll even pay her, but I don't need to. Right? This is her 2-bedroom place that she got in back 6 years ago. Guys, people are doing this. I'm telling you, man, in life, it's like those things, even when you hear people talking about Bitcoin and all these things, those were people who did it early, the early stages, right? So anyway, mom got this place here, as you can see, in 2020. So over 6 years ago. Obviously, it looks very, very beautiful now. It didn't always look like that. So the official valuation 3 years later, and this is very important because you could see that area, Kilimani, as of 2023, 66,000 valuation. So 25% appreciation in 3 years, guys. This is what's happening in Kenya right now, right? So I'm actually even talking to her because what I'm about to show you, she can earn more money than this on rental income. And I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. But this place now, $1,067 a month is for a full-time tenant. She doesn't want to have a full-time tenant because she says, Sujira, look at me, man. I like my nice things. I spent a lot of money furnishing this place. She did. She spent 2 million Kenyan shillings furnishing this place, by the way. So, she spent a lot of money and she's like, oh, I don't want long-term tenants spoiling it. But anyway, we'll get back to that later. But if she was to get a full-time tenant, she told me $1,067 a month she would put it up for, which is $12,800 per year. She bought it it was worth $53,000, but she put a down deposit of about $15,000, which is about $20,000 in Australian dollars. So that's what I'm saying, guys. Like, to own it, it's more capital. Again, I'm not doing that, remember, and I'm going to show you what I'm doing. But it's a lot more capital because that's only a down deposit. You're only putting 20%, and then you got to put in she's got to put in more money to buy the place, which is paid off, and then she's got to put money into furnish it. So you're looking at, she's going to well spend over 100 grand through this whole time. She actually did a mortgage because it's a lot of money. So she did a mortgage, right? So she just put the down deposit. So very quickly, the rental yield based on that 10 million valuation, 12,800 in rental income divided by 53 is 24% yield on cost. She's doing a mortgage, paying it off, limitless possibilities. The long-term goal, guys, is cash flow. You want every single month, You want money coming into your bank account every single month just through you owning a property, you having a property, right? So what stops most people? The number one thing that stops most people, my mom wanted to do this, guys. My mom wanted to do this for a very long time. She's Kenyan. She's 60 years old now. She's Kenyan. She's wanted to do this, but she just hasn't been able to because who do I trust? Your own family will steal from you. Your own family will tell you, "Oh, send me money. Oh, hey, you're even just paying." They say, "Oh, we're building something. We're building something." You're just paying someone's bills. Imagine, and you think you're getting a. It's happened to many people. Hasn't happened to us because we have to move. We have to do our due diligence. We have to. Who can we trust, right? But thankfully, and again, just like all of you guys, Mom was thinking about this. Anytime you think about something, guys, in your life, it comes. Why are we here in this room together? You guys have been thinking about something like this. You've been thinking about it. You've been thinking about it. You're still thinking about it now. And guess what? You're scrolling on Facebook on your phone, and your phone knows who you are. So your phone has your energy. You're scrolling on your phone all the time. Your phone sees everything you're doing, everything you're searching. So your phone says, "Oh, here, look," and then it led you to me, who's I'm doing this at the moment. Right? So that's just the way life works. Life works like that. When you're thinking about something, you're basically you're manifesting it. So the biggest issue people have is who can I trust to help me do this? But mom, basically what happened was she was thinking about this, and then the bank NCBA came to Australia. They had a presentation, and it was about, investing in property, getting started into this. And that's how she was able to do it through an auntie who was traveling back and forth from UAE, from Dubai. She worked for Emirates, and she was coming back and forth to Kenya. And she said, "Hey, guys, we've got this place that you can invest in." She did it. She wired her money from here in Australia, and the rest is history. And that's what you guys can see, for example, here. So this here again was a place. This here was a manifestation. This place was something that manifested in her mind. She was praying about this. I want a place. I want a place that I can call home. I want a place that I'm in Australia and that someone's paying my rent. I'm getting bookings on Airbnb. There's income coming in. Right now, do you know what my mom does? The bookings that come here, she already pays a mortgage. So she's like, "You know what? I'll pay the mortgage, but the money that comes into her Kenyan bank account from all the bookings, people coming from America, people traveling. Right now, we're going into peak season. People don't really, now we're in March, April. Guys, summer holidays. People from America, everyone, summer holidays is coming. So usually peak season is really August, September. We are entering into that phase now. And I'm going to show you something very cool. So this was a manifestation in her dream. And then again, just having to break that trust. So that's just what stops most people. A lot of you guys put a number one in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Put a number one in the chat if you know exactly what I'm talking about. Who the hell can I trust? I'm scared of being scammed. And some of you guys are just like, "Oh, I'll do it next year. I'll do it next year." But as you get older and older and older, that next year never comes. And it's just like anything in life. How many times do you tell you something you're going to do it? Even some of you coming to this webinar, "Oh, I'll come," you don't come. And then you miss out, then you're missing out on opportunities. So a lot of comes down to that. Now, I'm going to get started to who am I? Who am I? And like I said, guys, you do not have to own property in Kenya. You don't even have to own property. You can come in with way less money. I told you guys, mom's place, what did I say? Mom's place here, 53,000 USD. She had to put a down deposit. She's doing a mortgage, which is okay, but still, it's a lot more capital. I did not even do that, and I'm going to show you what I did. Okay? So a little bit about me. I was born in Kenya, and I moved to Australia when I was 3 years old. There's me in the middle. I'm a middle child, right? Put a number one or number two in the chat if you're a middle child. Shout out to all the middle children. You guys know how it is to be a middle child. Cool. Great. You guys know how it is to be a middle child. So I was born in Kenya, moved to Australia when I was 3 years old, and I was being a professional footballer, playing football all my life, played all over Europe. And then through that journey, I started a YouTube channel. Through starting a YouTube channel, I built my business, ETS Rabasha Media, a media company where we predominantly do podcasting, and we have a service that we do and marketing, right? The reason why I'm here is because I built my whole brand of marketing, because marketing is life. So then I started an African campaign with my father, who's there. He's from Rwanda. Mom's from Rwanda. Mom's from Kenya, dad's from Rwanda. There's mom looking very young still till today. And there's my dad. So we started an African campaign to take back our African names, because one day my dad came to me, he said, "Sujira," He said, why do we have the names of our colonizer, like our first names? And I was like, I woke up, I was like, yeah, you got a point. Like I was like, you genuinely have. I was like, why do we like? Why is my name some? So anyway, I was like, yeah. So then I removed that name, and then I took my Rwandese name, which is Sujira, which means wisdom. Someone who thinks about legacy, which is actually true. I think about legacy all the time. I think about 20 years from now. I think about what am I going to leave my children? What lessons am I going to leave them? It's not just about properties. It's not just about wealth, but the philosophies, the documentation, these messages, these webinars. My children are going to watch 20 years from now. They're going to see how we built the business, how we had 100 apartments, right? And they're going to take over those 100, 200 apartments in Kenya. They're going to be the ones who take over that. So that was what my name means. It's someone who's wise. So that's a little bit about me. So how did I get here? Let's show you. So this is how I got here. Let's go back here. So sometimes, guys, plain old, good old love will just do it for you. So this is my partner. I was playing football. I was going for Harambee Stars in Nairobi, Kenya, because I'm a footballer at the time. So I was applying for the Harambee Stars. They needed a few things. So I had to get my Kenyan passport. So I was football training. I was training with one of the teams in Kenya. It was Tusker FC, if you guys know a little bit about the professional football game in Kenya. And then it was with AFC. My grandfather was a big footballer, Neva. So he was quite a legend in Kenya in football. And then I was training with one of the big teams there. And through that time, I fell in love. I engaged with my partner, Anyango. And then we started our Airbnb business in Nairobi. She had always wanted to be a YouTuber as well. She had loved YouTube. She had saw me doing YouTube. We met, and the rest is history. We then created our Airbnb business together. Now, let me show you exactly how it all started, and how you guys can do this without owning any property. But there's a little bit of a story. So just have a watch. And I was on a border, and I'm excited. I'm from Australia. We don't have borders. So I'm riding on the border, and then I see a girl, her pants were kind of sticking out. And I was like, wow, pretty, amazing. So the border kept going, and I was like, turn around, turn around.
No way.
Yeah. Imagine.
Yes, way.
I was like, turn around. And then he's like, okay. He's like, I know them, I know them. He turned around, he pulled up. And then I know when I'm in Kenya, my accent sticks out. So the girls, usually. So then I kind of put an extra accent on. I said, excuse me, can I please get your number? And then she didn't even understand what I said. She was like, huh? Mm-hmm. I was like, can I get your number? Put your number in my phone. You're very beautiful. Then she put it in. So that's how it all started. That's how our story started, guys. Again, just through plain old good old love. But through that time, I guess I didn't know what I was seeing, that there was a huge opportunity building. So it was actually her idea. We saw an opportunity, right? We saw a place in Lavington, and we said, you know what? We can rent it out. Let's just rent it out, pay rent, and then it was unfurnished. We furnish it up, do it really, really well, and then put it up on Airbnb. So that's exactly what we did. And we literally did this within like a month, let's say a month and maybe 6 weeks, I would say, right? Yeah, I would say 6 weeks, because when I see something, I just do it. And there was a lot of risk. Of course, I had to take the risk. What about if we don't get bookings? What about if no one books our place? And I'm going to be paying rent. I didn't care. I said, so rent here is 70,000 Kenyan shillings a month. 70,000 Kenyan shillings. I do not own this place. So it was a beautiful place. She was on the ground. I was here in Australia. And then I said, go and find the place. She went and found the place. And I said, we got the lease agreement. And then I said, make sure that we're allowed to sublet it ourselves. She made sure she went and did that. And there we got it. So now I'm going to show you guys the prices, and I'm going to show you exactly how you guys can do this even yourselves, even without me telling you anything. This is how you can do it. So let me go show you guys exactly what it required. Remember, I do not own this place. So let's go and let me show you guys here. So this is our place, as you can see, right? We put it up on TikTok as well. We just don't rely on Airbnb, right? We don't just rely on Airbnb. This is our place here. So this is what we did, right? I've put the prices in US dollars for you guys. So what do you have to do to get a place like this first? You see this place unfurnished? You got to get the lease agreement and you pay a bond, security deposit. So let's say US dollars, you pay about 1,500 US dollars. I want to be safe to give an extra month, right? So you pay 2 months rent and then bond. You get the bond back, right? But you pay 2 months rent and bond. That's about 1,500 US because it's about 500 US dollars a month. So straight away, I had my cash, saw the lease agreement, I saw the place. She was on ground, so I made her to do a walkthrough, go there, inspect the place. She gave it a thumbs up. I trusted her vision because great minds think alike. I said, okay, cool. Boom. I sent over the money. 1,500, we got the keys. We got the keys at 1,500 here. That's it. 2 months rent paid. 2 months rent paid and plus bond. Okay, what's next? Now, the next part is furnishing. I can't stress the importance of this. You have to furnish it with class and elegance. As you can see here, we had to furnish it really, really, really well, right? Like you can see, and I learned it from my mom. I learned it from my mom's place. What can you see? Look, this is how she was really good. She's an interior designer, right? Had the passion for this. So for me, me, my attention to detail with these things, I let the women handle. Women are very good at these things that are here. Just send the money, you do it. Make sure you get because I trust you, right? So it's about dealing with good people. My mom, the same thing. Mom got in an interior. Mom's also an interior designer herself, but she had someone on the ground to do the interior design. Everything here you see in my mom's place is intentional. It's not there by accident. Everything is intentional because those are the people we want to attract. If someone comes and stays here, they're going to have a stay. And I've stayed at my mom's place. I'll tell you, I've traveled all around the world. I'm not even saying it because of my mom, but look, everything. Don't even let me tell you anything. I will even keep quiet. You can see for yourself. Everything we say, I don't just say da da da, where we lead by action, right? So even the clock, you see, so you can see 2 bedroom. But anyway, back to my place, right? So furnishing, I would say, because I put it from Australian dollars to US dollars, about 6,000 US dollars in furnishing. And that 6,000, I didn't just pay all straight away. So number one, we got the keys, lease agreement, cool. And then I just sent her money. I sent her 1 grand, 2 grand, 3 grand. By the time you know it, I had sent her 10 grand. That was in the space again of about 6 weeks, let's say 6 to 8 weeks max to furnish the place. So just keep furnishing it, get the room first, then the living room, just bit by bit by bit. So it's not something that you've got to put in straight away. So already, guys, without spending $20,000 or 25 grand, maybe throughout this whole process, that could, it depends. If you have a 2 bedroom, 2 bedroom will be a bit more. Mom's place, way more. She spent 2 million, twice as much as we did because it's bigger. So, but $6,000 overall, in terms of furnishing the place. And if you have any questions, guys, please feel free to ask. But anyway, $6,000 in furnishing, 1,500 in rent and bond. Now we've got the place and we've got this beautiful place here, right? So that's how you get started. What you would need to do is pay an interior designer. Even if maybe you want to design it yourself, you're going to pay someone to be able to go in like what she did. Go and get the place where to also get good deals. It's not just about spending money, but get things with quality, but you don't have to spend it at the most premium price. So she's very good at that. She's loyal. They're very smart. They know what they're doing. I trust you again. So go get places. So anyway, $6,000, $30 for Wi-Fi every month. You pay Wi-Fi service charges, things like that. So already with about $8,500, we're already on the ground running. That is how you can do this without owning property. If you want to own property, there's a procedure there's a down deposit. Maybe it's 20,000 down deposit, right? Then you got to pay that off. You can pay that off within 36 months if you get an off plan. If you get an apartment that's already there, it's more money. It's about $100,000 if you want an apartment that's already there. And that's what's so good about this model is because maybe if you're not ready to buy maybe you want to buy an apartment, which is still good, but you just want to put your foot in the door yet. You just want to test it in. So what I would advise, because this place here, it's already in demand. It's already done. It's not being built. It's already an apartment that's providing cash flow that someone's renting out. Someone's saying $70,000 and we take it. So that means there's people there that's ready to rent. So it's already there to make money. That's the good thing about doing this, where you don't have to spend quite a large money and then you're waiting 2-3 years for it to be developed. Or if you just have a lot of money, let's say you get an apartment. My auntie, she did that. She got an apartment, $100,000. She was a flight attendant coming back. She borrowed money. Sorry, she just boom when she had cash and she paid off $100,000. If you can do that, this will still be very valuable for you anyway. So anyway, boom, interior designer, furnish the place, pay some Wi-Fi. You'll have a cleaner, $50. So let me show you the incomes. I would go out because we do this also with our clients to be very honest and very transparent. Let me show you the numbers. This was when we started. So where are we now? We're in March going to April. What did I say? We were very lucky. We started this during the high season, kind of around this time. We're actually going into our 1 year anniversary. These are our earnings. This is how much we've earned. And have a look. No lies here. So it's opened in August was when we opened it. Guys, I was telling people this. I never paid rent when we first started. I didn't pay rent because it already got booked. The first booking was $440. How much is rent? Remember, rent is $500 a month. So $60 out of pocket. Hey, happy days. Okay, that's cool, right? Our first month, I was, as long as I didn't have to pay in Australian dollars, it's about $800 a month. In US dollars, that's about $500 a month. As long as I didn't have to pay $500, I was happy, right? Of course, we're just getting started. So this was in August. As soon as we opened doors, someone stayed there. I believe they stayed for like 2 weeks, and we gave them a discount because it's the first ever booking, right? They were from China. September, $566. So it paid the rent plus it then just paid Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is $30. We were also able to get a cleaner, $566. I did not pay rent yet again. Didn't pay rent. So now I got the place in about June. So June, you get 2 months, boom, 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 is already paid. August, rent paid. September, rent paid. Nothing out of my pocket. Of course, you're not going to make $1,500 the first month. You're not going to make $2,000. Relax, right? Again, it's a long-term game. But the fact that as long as we furnish this, we get this place, I don't have to pay rent out of my pocket, that's good. Now it's just about optimizing it. And what you guys are getting from this webinar is I made certain mistakes and I'm still making, I'm still learning things as we go, but at least I've been through that to now show you guys. So what you're going to see is there's going to be some months missing, but that's because what we did was we didn't just rely on Airbnb. Because if I just rely on Airbnb, what about if there's a bad month? What about if someone gives me a bad review? I'm going to put my money in the hands of Airbnb. No. Hey, I worked too hard and I put too much money into this. No. So we said, hey, we've got to be smart. We created a TikTok page. Many people, they're searching on their place. Like when I go to holiday with my partner, she goes and finds places for dates and all these places through TikTok. Even me, I'm shocked. You found it through TikTok because I never really came up in that TikTok era. But so other people, they're not just going on Airbnb to find an apartment. They're going on TikTok. So we created the TikTok. I post on socials everywhere. Boom, post. We have a place. People messaging me. That's another thing you guys will learn. When you guys do this, or if you do this, you're going to have people who know you, who they're going to Kenya. Oh, you've got an Airbnb. Boom, that also opens the opportunity. So what we did was you can see inquiries and bookings, and we started running ads on TikTok. We put money behind it. And then what happened here, we didn't have to. So Airbnb, think about this, guys. This money here, Airbnb takes commission. Remember, Airbnb takes commission from here. So I'm not paying rent, which is good, but Airbnb also takes commission from here. But when you do off Airbnb, of course, now there's no commission. So these are the nightly prices. On Airbnb, we do 60 because Airbnb, you also got to compete with other people. There's 20 other people who have apartments on Airbnb, right? What's someone going to choose your place? Of course, our place looks lovely. So if I show you quickly here, so this is how we did it. We got started. So this is our place you can see here on Airbnb. This is just one of the photos. We have like about 20 photos because the photos are very important, right? So this is our place here on Airbnb. 2 guests, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, furnished with class and elegance, and have a good location. So that's how it looks up on Airbnb. But at the same time, there's so many people on there. So we put it up for 60 a night, but off Airbnb, we charge higher. We charge $90 a night, 3-night minimum, $80 a night, $70 a night if it's a month. So do the maths on that. But I'm about to show you something and what we're transitioning to. So you can see here, these months here, our earnings, you'll see here, October, it's not there. That's because we got bookings outside of Airbnb. January was the only month that I had to now pay out of pocket because January was a slow month. Again, Airbnb, January was a slow month. I paid rent out of my pocket. The first time, I started this in August, guys. January was the first time. Okay, boom, I'll pay the rent. That's okay. And I was happy to do it because I said, you know what? Ever since we started this, I haven't paid rent out of my pocket. You guys can see here. Of course, the off bookings are not here, but you guys, and those ones that go straight into the M-Pesa, gets done. But you guys can see I didn't pay rent. So first month, okay, it was a slow month. All right, cool. I'll take that. I'll pay the rent. And that's why it's very important. I always tell people, I think we have about one more person that we're talking to, for doing this. That's it. That you have to be comfortable to be able to pay rent out of pocket if worst case scenario. And that was the risk I took. The risk I took was I said to Jira, if worst case scenario you're not getting bookings, can you afford the rent? And then how long can you afford the rent? I can't pay rent here in Australia, and then I'm also paying rent in Kenya for 3-4 months in a row. I'm sorry, but I don't have money to be going around like that, wasting, like, it's a lot of money. I can't, that's 2 rents, right? So I also knew that. So I said, cool. Worst case scenario, 3 months. If we're getting no bookings for 3 months, Kabisa, well, we'll just, I don't know, we'll just have to pivot. We can sell the furniture or we can move it to somewhere else. And then what we can do is we can go start another place. So you have to be comfortable with that worst case scenario. Anything in life takes risks. Worst case scenario, can I afford the rent if I'm getting no bookings? But clearly we could do that. So anyway, January. So now, even right now, as we speak, we've got bookings in February. And even now we have someone in our place who was booked in as we speak. I'm here in Australia being able to do this. So that's really it. Now, I want to show you something really powerful, which is what we've transitioned to. Now, look at this, guys. Look at this, right? So what I'm going to show you here, let's do this. This is awesome. Ready? Watch this. So, guys, people are looking for places to stay all the time, right? So if we go here, look at this, right? You can see 1-bedroom apartment with ensuite in Westlands area. Look at this, guys. Let's look at one of these apartments. Let's look at this one. This is about 80,000 Kenya shillings a month, guys. 80,000 Kenya shillings a month. Let's look at it right now. Okay. 80,000 Kenya shillings a month. Now let's look. I want to get the US dollars for that, guys. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the US dollars. 880. Let's have a look, guys. You can do the maths on this as well. I already know it. But about 80,000 Kenya shillings is about 616 US dollars per month. This is an apartment in Westlands. Look at this. And guess what? Of course, it's unfurnished. So that is the key. Look at this, guys. I'm going to show you this in real time. And this is what we're doing right now as we speak. So 80,000 Kenya shillings is $616 per month. Have a look. Right? That's in Westlands, a beautiful area. This is $616. This here is about $580 a month. Why? Because it's unfurnished. So someone can rent out their property. So you can see it's a real estate agent. Let's have a look. All right, looks, and again, of course, there's many properties you can go through, but looks nice and modern. 1-bedroom place in Westlands. Westlands is a nice area, business place, right? So 80,000. Now look at this. And this is just me scrolling through here. If I scroll up here, look at this now. The same place, a 1-bedroom apartment with ensuite in Riverside in the Westlands, what's the rent? 180,000. Well, why is this one 180,000 and these ones down there are 80,000? Well, this one is furnished. So, same place, 1-bedroom, both have an ensuite, and even this furnishing is okay. I'm sure we could do better, but it looks okay. And I would have way better photos than this also, but this is furnished already. So this is, you can just move in straight away. So the rent there is 180,000 Kenya shillings a month. So what's 180,000? Hey, ChatGPT, what's 180,000 Kenya shillings to US dollars, please? Same place, 1-bedroom apartment in Westlands area for 80,000 Kenya shillings a month. That's $616 a month. But this same place is now worth, ChatGPT says, 1,400 USD is 180,000 Kenya shillings a month. So let's do the maths. 1,400. So if I'm renting it out for 1,400, because what did I do? Let's say you right now, guys, you get this place and you say, okay, I'll get this place. You pay 2 months bond. Let's say you pay about 600. You'll pay about maybe 1,000, 6 times 3. You'll pay, I think, yeah, my maths is not the best. Maybe you pay 1,500, 1,800, whatever, right? You pay 2 months bond and you pay the lease, right? You furnish it, right? You spend about $6,000 also in furnishing, interior design. Look at this place. It's got a balcony. It looks beautiful for me. Westlands is a business area. It's thing. So it's a prime location. So 1,400 minus 616. That's $784 left over because you get this. So now you put it up for 180 because it's in Westlands, and then now you're paying the landlord back. You don't own the property. That's 784 US dollars a month extra. Am I lying? Look at that. Same place, furnished and unfurnished. So why? Because it's a place that's already done. It's already an apartment building. You get it straight away. You don't have to, put in the hell of money for. No, it's already done. So you just got to get this place, pay the bond, you get the keys, and furnish it. Spend money. Boom, boom. You put money into interior design over time. Within, you've already got 2 months rent you've paid up front. So within that 2 months, it's like, okay, can I furnish this as much as I can for 2 months? The third month, let me even just have that rent ready, just in case I haven't furnished it in time. But let's say you have 3 months head start to furnish this place nicely. And then, so let's go to me, right? Let's make it practical for you guys, right? Everything I say, I have to do myself. 1 second, let me just show you guys. Okay. Guess what? This is my place now. So I've been doing Airbnb. But I'm saying, you know what? Look at my numbers. Right now, I'm breaking even. Not even breaking even. I haven't recouped the money that I've spent into the furnishing, into the bond. I haven't recouped that money back. I'm a businessman at the end of the day. So I look at the numbers because numbers means everything. You guys can look at the numbers here, right? Yes, it's paying its rent itself, but I need more money. I want more consistent cash flow. I think Airbnb, it will work and we'll do the rental game. We will do it. We'll have 5 properties that maybe just one do Airbnb and we're doing rentals. Just we have a website. People can come in, they can book a stay, da, da, da. That's cool. But what about if I can just now get that consistent cash flow? So right now I'm going through some listings in terms of going through applications because we've got the marketing, because we've already done everything. Guys, I pay rent. How much do I pay rent, guys? I pay rent 70,000 Kenyan shillings a month, right? Remember what I told you? I pay rent $500. This one is 165. Why? Because it's in Lavington. You see this one, this is 80,000 Kenyan shillings a month, which makes sense for unfurnished. This one here is going for 180, even extra because of the area. So mine's Lavington, which is still a very, very good area, but Westlands is a prime area. Even 80,000, mine's 70,000. 80,000 is not that much in unfurnished. So it's really about vetting that place. And this is a legit website. They're very good, Buy Rent Kenya. And I'm going to show you some other strategies on what we're planning on right now. But even this one, 75,000 in Westlands. Look, SG Properties, it's a company, right? So it looks legit. It is legit. So anyway, we're now pushing this place at 165,000 Kenyan shillings a month. So let's do the maths now. All about numbers. Hey, ChatGPT, what's 165,000 Kenyan shillings a month? And what's 70,000 Kenyan shillings a month? So now I put it up for more. And then now, because we have a beautiful place, look at my listing, guys. I'm very tactical in everything I do. So I said, I want consistent cash flow. If I can get from this property $700 every single month, the money comes into me, I pay the landlord $500 a month, I take the rest. Thank you, ChatGPT. 165 is 1,270. 70,000 Kenyan shillings is $500 a month, 539. So you do the maths, that's $730 before expenses. Now I'm getting $730 cash because what have I done? It's a serviced place. I'm very intentional. Serviced means when we get a full-time tenant, we look after them. We're very tactical. So when they come in, we haven't got we're right now in the process. So right now I have people staying in my place in Airbnb, but I've said, let's just keep people staying in there so we can get that cash flow. Just, of course, I don't want my place getting empty. Let's let people go and stay there. In the meantime, I'm going to start to vet people and we're going to start this process of getting someone to stay full-time, get an 18-month contract, 12-month contract, right? And I'm going to show you a little bit more on that later as well. So look, swimming pool, 24-hour security, backup. We provide a service. This apartment is perfectly suited for UN, NGO, diplomatic, and corporate professionals because I know who my client is. My client is like me. I want someone's going to come in here. They've got a job offer that maybe they're working for PNG, PWG, or working for, you guys, what I'm trying to say, PwC, working for a company in Nairobi. They want a nice place. They don't need to furnish it. They don't have time to furnish a place. Maybe they're coming with their family. Maybe they're coming with their partner, and they're going to come in and stay in our place. But guess what? That's $700 extra cash in my freaking pocket. And with that money, we have a cleaner that, boom, they get looked after. We have customer service. And then also we're very creative. We're going to look after our tenants, because that's how you get referrals. Look after them, do breakfast in bed. Hey, we even do a surprise. Hey, we're giving you this. Hey, they can have a podcast service. So we're going to also add services also on top. They can do a safari tour. They can do this. I want the people who come to my place to get an experience, because that's how you have a long-term customer. But that is how you're able to do this without owning any property. I've just showed you guys. Now, the next thing I'm planning on, because I own a media company, guys. So for those of you guys that who don't know me, we run a podcast. I'm in marketing. So when you're in marketing, it's now a relationship game. So then I thought to myself, and I'm even here with you guys, I said, okay, this is cool. I've got this place up looking for a full-time tenant. Fantastic. There's a lot of you guys can see here. Look. How many places? There's many. Also, I was even looking, guys, there's 2 bedrooms, even same thing. 2 bedrooms for 80,000, 90,000, even 100,000. Look, 3 bedroom for 150,000. For a 3 bedroom in 150, yeah, you're going to spend a decent amount on furnishing, but you can have this up for rent. This would be a family, a big family. You can have that for rent from like 300 to 400K, because it's a 3 bedroom. It's in Westlands, in the prime location, 3 bedrooms. There are people with that money who will come and pay that. They want a nice place. So, but there's a lot of listings here, right? A lot of listings. So there's so many, right? So I thought to myself, okay, I still know who is my client. My client is someone who wants to find a place. So I started to look and say, okay, there is relocation companies there's companies like this. This is an example, right? In Touch Relocations. I'm speaking to one person within the company now. We have a meeting next week. So they're a company that, what do? They help, because Kenya, and I'm just going to show you here, why Kenya? Kenya is an emerging market. So this is very important information. Let me show you here before I actually show you that. Kenya is an emerging market. The GDP is growth 5% annually. That's why people are buying properties now, off plan. It's one of the strongest growing economies in East Africa. I speak to CEOs as part of my media company in South Africa. They're having headquarters in Kenya. I was in America, and I had a T-Mobile, so I needed to get a SIM card. I called the T-Mobile, and then I said, hey, I need to get a SIM card. And then I was speaking to one of the ladies, and she is from, she had a familiar accent. She's from Kenya. I said, she's from Kenya, but works for T-Mobile. And then she said, no, our headquarters are in Kenya. So I'm like, T-Mobile, this big company. And then I'm like, wait a minute, it makes sense. Even me, myself, I run a business too. And I have employees right now who do our editing, who do our customer service. They're in Kenya. I pay people to do our editing for our podcast and all of those things. I'm not going to pay someone here in Australia to do that. They're here, they're just taking your money, and they're in Kenya. There's people who are working hard. So that's what these big, and so this is T-Mobile, who are a multi-billion-dollar company. I'm doing it. Of course, they're doing it. So that's what's happening. All these big companies, they're moving there. United Nations is in Kenya, Nairobi. It hosts the only UN headquarters in the global south. So what does that mean? There's constant demand for quality housing. Their staff are coming here. Their staff are moving there. What do they need? They need a place to stay. A place that can come in comfortably. Maybe they don't even want to have a furnish, nothing. They just want to have a place that they can come in and stay. So that's why Kenya, it's an emerging market, right? The infrastructure, the Nairobi Expressway, ongoing road expansion, the infrastructure drives property demand. So guys, Kenya is already a booming market. It already is, and more people are coming here. For those of you guys who know a little bit about sports, next year the African Cup of Nations is going to be in Kenya. So that's what, when I saw that, I was so happy, because I'm like, yes, people are going to need a place to stay. People all over Africa are coming. That's why it's so crucial to get into this now. And you can get into this without even owning a property. You have a place that's already has a rental demand. You don't have to wait. You get it, you furnish it, and this. So that's why this is very important. So companies are moving there. Like we say, I work in my company with the Chinese a little bit. These are some of our guys in Singapore that I've partnered with. Not on this, but we partner with other things in our business in terms of the company. But everything relates, because now I can use those same connections in the company. in this, what we're doing. But Chinese have been building in Kenya over the past decade. Guys, I live here in Australia. Do you know here in Australia, all these big buildings, all this commercial real estate, it's not Muzungus, it's not Australians who own them. Of course, there's some, it's the Chinese. Chinese came here 20 years ago. You know, China's not too far from Australia. The Chinese came here a long time ago and they were building. They were building. The same way I was in Kenya and they were built, they also I went to Chinatown in Kenya, I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. It was near my place. This was me and my fiance. We went there to Chinatown. I was shocked. But what that shows you that that if the Chinese, if you see anywhere Chinese are doing something, that's important. So the reason why I bring that up is that's why this is so valuable, because guess what? These companies, they're moving their staff to Kenya. So then I said, okay. And so some of you guys, actually, if you guys are not in, we have a WhatsApp group, guys. For those of you guys who don't know, we have a WhatsApp group where we're posting updates, things of what we're doing. And I posted this in the WhatsApp group the other day. So for example, like this, something that we're working on, speaking to now a senior partner in this company of In Touch Relocations. They're moving. Look what they do. Home finding, understanding what makes a house a home. So companies, T-Mobile, UN, those companies, they say, look, we don't have time to be looking for places. They have big money. So they pay a company like this, go and find our employees a place and make them comfortable. They get you, they do a pre-assignment, home finding, understanding what makes a house a home. A detailed needs, and that allows us to target only the best available properties, taking care of the assignee's corporate's best interest by negotiating favorable lease terms and conducting a thorough check-in experience. So the person I'm speaking with, I have a meeting with this week. We're going to have an amazing conversation. I'm going to learn a little bit more on what they do and what they look for in when they find their clients at home. Who knows where that relationship is going to go? But in my head, I'm saying, okay, if I build a relationship with the relocation consultants, instead of them going and looking here in the market for everywhere, they come to me because we're helping people do this. Every quarter, every 3 months, we help one of you guys do this in 8 weeks. So by the time someone's done their place, that relationship, we can build it. So now they're looking for a 2-bedroom. They're looking for a 1-bedroom. Now, because we've been able, now here, our places are fully booked. We've got tenants. We've got cash flow every month. Here, what are you looking for? Oh, we're looking for a 1-bedroom, da, da, da. Instead of her going anywhere else, they come to us. We show them one of your places or one of the other places in the WhatsApp group, one of the other members, da, 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 da. So now you can also have that guaranteed income. That's the goal. So that is what's so valuable. Without owning any property, you get a place, rent it out. Once you've rented it out, you furnish it really well, or you furnish it, and then now it's about getting a tenant. So that's the hardest thing, is just getting a tenant. But now, so that's what it's about. If you can build the right relationships, who has access to your clients? These people have access to our clients. So we can provide them a service because they don't have to do hard work. They come to us. What are you looking for? We have a range of properties. You guys have already got your places here. And these companies are moving and moving. So all of our places, some of you guys, you've furnished it, you've put in your money, now you're earning $700, $1,000 every single month. So that's what we're doing. We transitioned from just doing Airbnb. Now we're putting it up for rental. Now it's about building relationships with the right people. So now you can get a part of this. You right now could rent this place here and then put it up, furnish it, make it extraordinary, really well, make it classy, make it elegant. And then now you earn the cash on top of that. That's how you get started. So guys, is there any questions that you guys have? What do you want to ask? Use this time. Again, we're helping people go through this, right? We're helping people go through this. What I would just say is you need a good team, a trusted team. Guys, my biggest hurdle was, okay, who do I trust? But because I had my fiance, why do you think I was able to do this place so quickly? And I had someone great in here talk to me, like, I went to her and I said, hey, how do we have proof that we're not subletting from the landlord? Is it, and then we went and got, we went and spoke to the landlord. She got documentation that now the landlord owns the place, because they're not allowed to rent it out if you don't own it in that building. And then now, as long as we get that lease agreement. So I was able to do all of this being in Australia. Guys, I'm here in Australia. I wasn't here at any of these parts. I go to Kenya now to do this for clients. Now we have our next intake that I got to go and I got to do this we're doing this for people. So that's what you guys will have the chance. One person will be able to have an opportunity where if you're a little bit ready and you look at the budget, you can be like, Sujira, okay, help me do this. But basically, that's like really the goal. So like that is what's so pivotal about this. I was able to do this while I'm being in Australia. I'm able to see these bookings coming in. I have access to the account. I can see what's coming in. I can see what's happening. And that's why, again, I don't, you guys are going to be lucky because I made the mistake, not the mistake, but I was like, okay, let's rely on Airbnb. That was the only place I was relying upon. But then, of course, social media, and now this is the next place. And then now we're now speaking to the right people. As right now, I'm going through who's applying for our place right now. Within a month, 2 months, we'll now be able to report, hey, we've got a full-time tenant, or we have summer coming up. August is coming up. We're going to be booked out because people are coming from America, coming and traveling. So you will earn that income. Cool, Airbnb, even if it's still paying its rent. So it is a long-term game. Everything doesn't happen overnight. As you can see, we started this in August, right? This is where we are now. But by the time August this year, we're going to be at a way further place. We're going to have a full-time tenant bringing me $700 every single month. Right? And then we're going to go get another place. As we speak right now, because I've been confident in this right now, which I've been sharing in the WhatsApp group, we're furnishing our second place. So again, that's why I say an interior design is very important. This is the place that we're furnishing. It's in Ngong Road. We've got another sublet 2 months ago. Because I haven't been paying rent in this place, I'm like, okay, let's get another place. I can pay rental now. I haven't been paying rent in our Airbnb because it's working. So we've got this place is in Ngong Road. The rent here is even cheaper. This is 54,000 Kenyan shillings I pay every month. But it's a place that we can live. And so now my fiance is interior designer. She's already crafting out the vision already. I'm just sending the money. So that's why a trusted team on the ground is very, very important. And that's what we could do. The next part I would say is lawyer, right? The lease agreement as well. We were on the safe side, but now we've got a lawyer. Our mum, that property that you've seen here, that you can see mum went in. This was all done through, of course, a lawyer. We had to go through the lawyer. So now for you is you get a lawyer to approve of the lease agreement, make sure everything works out straight. And then now just a property management company to be able to do it. Things like doing what we're doing. So guys, what questions do you have? Please ask me what questions you guys have before we kind of even round this off, okay? As you guys are getting ready to ask questions, again, you guys can join our WhatsApp group. And if you want to know exactly how you can do this in 8 weeks, I can even show you how to do this in 8 weeks. So this is what we have. This is a little bit on off plan as well, like, even other developments for off plan projects, right? So if let's say, you want to invest in the future, this is a little bit that you can see here.
Luxury properties with the highest ROI. So yeah, some of the properties.
So this is what the real estate game is. And as I said, the great thing is you don't even have to own property to do this. What an amazing opportunity. So before I show you the next thing, you guys can book in a coaching session. If you guys are really serious about this, we're actually helping people do this within 8 weeks. 8 weeks, we provide a service and we get started as families together and we go and set this up within 8 weeks. Within this 8 weeks, that's what we're building those relationships. So by the time you're 8 weeks, there's obviously no guarantee, but the good thing is getting this started now. By August, when there's high season, Airbnb can even bring income in itself. But in the plan, how can we get a full-time tenant? You're paying rent 80,000, you're paying rent $500 a month. Australian dollars, you're paying rent $800. You pay 2 months in advance. Maybe you have 3 months ready. You've been able to furnish it over a period of even 6 to 8 weeks. You've been able to just put money aside. You've been saving money from your job, from your salary, whatever. By the time, we've got the lease agreement that's done. By the time it's furnishing, maybe the bedroom's already furnished. Then we're going to the living room. Then you have a place within 2 months that's ready to be put up. Maybe we already have tenants, by the time it's done, now we're just sourcing out tenants for you, or now you're just getting booking. We're gonna do two at the same time. That's what I would do. We run two at the same time. So quickly, before I show you guys one small video, maybe you guys have, some of you have seen this before who are in the WhatsApp group. What questions do you guys have? Ask your questions. Use this time valuable. I told you, only 1% of you guys, only 1% here will take action. Again, guys, we've been running ads on Facebook. We speak to so many people, right? Every quarter, we only take 3 people to be able to do this for. We've already got 2 spots already gone. That's 1 more. But think about how many people we're speaking with. We're speaking with, but only 1% really take action. Yes, there's risk. Yes, there's trust. But hey, I was able to do this. So for me, I'm a businessman. When I see things, I move quickly. And I learn on the go. I learned all of this on the go. I learned this by doing. I saw what we did with my mom. I was part of that process. I was being able to help her on the ground as her son. And now maybe it's also a family thing too. We've had business as a family. Maybe it's just something in the air, but we act quickly. Now, I'm just going to show you a quick video as some of you guys are getting your questions in that I shared in the WhatsApp group that I think it's very powerful, and I think you guys are going to relate to it. So again, this is a WhatsApp group. We show rentals. Like this place is a 2-bedroom, a place that going for, I couldn't believe it. It's in Westlands, beautiful place, man. That's up for rent. Let me show you guys this. So get ready to ask your questions. Let's go up a little bit more. And if you need the link to join the WhatsApp group, let me know. I'll send that to you guys. Okay, I want you guys to watch this video.
Africa has the highest return on foreign investment than any other place in the world.
But you don't hear about
Of course not.
Of course not. Right.
Of course. The global average is 7.4. Africa is 11, right? So nobody knows that, and nobody thinks that, and nobody talks about that because it's counterintuitive to the perspective that they have.
I'm going to keep it a buck with you because I've often thought about this, especially, getting older. I'm going, I want to invest in Africa. But then just being honest and truthful, then fear starts to come. Like, wait, what if this happens? And what if that happens? And
what if a line comes?
and it's
How many of you guys can relate to what he's saying? So many of you guys here have been thinking about this for a long time. That's why you're in this webinar. And you go on year by year and you do nothing. You think about it. And I don't blame you because the trust factor, I've been fortunate. I'm not going to lie. Do you know how fortunate I was to be able to send how much money I've spent this past year? Even one of the apps, World Remit, I used to use World Remit. They freaking banned me because they thought it was suspicious. I was just sending, so much money back to Kenya, to do these things, sending money frequently. They banned me. And I got a new one, Wise, which is pretty good. If heads up, it's so good. I send money straight away and it arrives. But how many of you guys have been thinking about this every single year and you do nothing because there's fear? Who do I trust? But this is your chance to do it. And you don't want to look back 6 months from. Some people we speak to, they're into it, they're motivated, they even have the money, but they delay. And usually they even come back to us 6 months later down the line anyway. Even in business, and it's like, hey, you always come in. Of course, there's wait periods, but at the same time, it's like you could have started this 6 months ago. Imagine if I would have delayed. Where would I be now? Everything I've learned for a reason. I've learned, as I said, if you think it's a quick money scheme, it's not for you. But again, with me not having to pay rent, already a win. Now it's just about, I'm not paying rent. Now I want to earn $700 a month. I want to earn $1,000 a month. How much money do you want to earn every month? And I want you to put it in the chat. While I show you this video, how much money do you want to earn just by doing this? You've put the money into the bond. You've put the money into the furnishing. Okay, you've spent money just like I did. I spent a decent amount of money, but I'm working. I'm running a business. I have income coming in. I'm working. That's okay because I'm investing. I told you my name means wisdom. It means legacy. I'm thinking about the long term. And then once I've made my investment, I've put in my investment, I've paid what I need to pay. Now it's just about the patience game. So now it's about learning and now the strategy. And as we put the strategy and we use the so-called mistakes and the learning lessons, now I can apply that. Now I've been able to save money because now I've got a full-time tenant coming and bringing me cash flow. I'm not just relying on Airbnb. So I'm moving quicker. And then when I get the next one and the next one, I'm much faster. But have a look and comment how much you want to make.
I think what ends up happening is that all of that programming and fear starts to come like, oh, well, you don't know, and what, and before you know it, you end up doing nothing, right? You end up doing nothing and not investing.
That's why you're here to guide us to this. It's crazy. It's really crazy. I'm in Nigeria. Nigeria's GDP is going to be $15 trillion by 2050. Nigeria's going to be the third biggest economy in the world.
Wow.
That's the truth. Africa right now has four of the 10 fastest growing economies in the world is in Africa right now.
Let's go.
Technology, AI, finance, infrastructure, real estate. It is booming, right? Because it's all about the numbers.
Yeah.
Right? We have the youngest demographic in the world. 40% of the world's youth will be in Africa by 2050. Think about that.
40%
of the entire world's youth
yeah.
will be in Africa. So what that means for job creation, what that means for human resources, what that means for ideations, what that means for
job creation, things. What did I tell you? Where's the economy going? Jobs are being there. UN, all these companies are moving there, guys. If they're moving there, what do they need? They need a place to live.
Technology. Africa has 900 million smartphones by 2030. That's twice as many as America and Europe combined. Damn. And with fintech and everything else, everybody's doing everything on their smartphones in Africa. They've done that for years before we even started over there.
Before we did the pay by with the
M-Pesa,
Apple Pay or whatever,
they were doing that.
In
Kenya, that's
everybody's.
They were doing that.
Yep. I saw a whole video on that.
Yeah.
Damn.
Right. So again, the work that we're doing is, and it's funny, people say, oh, it's so good of you to give back. I'm not giving back. This is economic development. This
is economic development. Why am I hosting this webinar? I'm not giving back. Of course, I'm going to teach people the game. It doesn't hurt me. This is about value. But this is economic development. I'm building back home. I'm being able to, there's so many people who are landlords. I'm helping pay their rent. My landlord now, happy days. I'm paying my landlord's rent. They don't care as long as they're getting 80,000 Kenyan shillings a month. Happy days. And she's a Kenyan woman. We're paying her rent. She's grateful that we're there. We look after her place, but on top of her place, I also earn income from her place. And then we get another place. And then you do it, and you do it, and you do it, and this is a service, and the economy goes round. You would pay, let's say us, we come in and do this for you. Then now you are giving, now someone who's looking for a place to stay is coming and staying at your place. They've come to stay at your place. The only way you make money in this world is by giving value to people. The only way you make money in this world is by giving value to people. No scamming, those things are short-lived. You make money by adding value. The richest people in the world, the reason they're rich, why? It's not about going to church and they're filling up the church every Sunday. Here in Australia, no, it's about serving other people because we are born on this earth to serve people. And your apartment is going to be of service. Okay, we got a question. You mentioned about mortgage on off-plan. It's possible in Kenya. What are the terms? Oh, mortgage on off-plan is a bit harder. Now, mum did it a little bit different because with mum's off-plan, it may have been like it was in the foundation stages, but usually mortgages with off-plan, they don't necessarily give. It's very hard to get an off-plan. Mum was fortunate because her building was in the foundation stage, so it was nearly almost already done. And then, so you can ask a few more questions on that, but yes, off plan, they don't like to give mortgage because it's not really done yet. The companies, even though mortgage is a process, they don't really like to give a mortgage for off plan. It's more a ready unit available. So yes, with mum's place was off plan. She did get fortunate in her case. But we can speak to certain developers, but usually off plan, if you want to do a mortgage, yeah, there's one company, you guys may know them, Savaro. They do more affordable housing. So those places where it's like you don't even need to do a down deposit. If you want that could be an option as well. And what they do is basically those are places where Rongai, Thika Road, those places where rent is like 15,000 Kenyan shillings a month. This places we're talking about here, Westlands, these are all high-end areas. That's 20% of the market, not even. Majority of the market is in those places because it's extremely affordable. So that is also a good idea. If you want to do that to get started, and let's say you want to buy a place, that one with Savaro, I know them and I can connect you with them. You don't even have to put a down deposit. You can just pay off like $400 a month, for example, literally, because their places are cheap. It's like 20 grand for an apartment. So it's an apartment for 20 grand, no down deposit. Just pay off a monthly installment and then you get those places. So they're very affordable housing. What I would like to do, like I was talking to someone here, I would buy maybe 6 of those, 7 of those, because the rent is very cheap. And those ones, you'll always find a tenant. The other ones, you don't even have to worry about that. There'll be tenants always full there because, I have people who've worked in my company and they stay in those places. I pay them like $200 a month. That's nothing to me. And that's their rent already done. So your question there, mortgages for off-plan, they don't really like to give mortgages, but those affordable housing, you don't even have to put a down deposit. It's about $20,000. You pay a lease, you pay, let's say within 3-4 years. Some of them, again, they're off-plan, so they're being built. You just pay the monthly installments. By the time it's being built, you've already got a place. Again, and it's good. That one, it's also how you can get started. That one, I wouldn't say potentially more so for Airbnb. You could possibly do it. But those ones, again, rental income is about 150,000 Kenyan shillings a month. Sorry, 15,000, sorry. So yeah, that's your question there. So feel free to ask any other questions. Go.
Investing. This is Africa is not an emerging market anymore.
Yeah.
It's a booming market in endless sectors.
And this is probably why you see a lot of the people from China starting to come into.
Not starting to come in. They've been in Africa for the
been
last 20 years.
Oh wow! Yeah,
investing especially in.
So we're just now finding out. Yeah,
yeah. For decades they've been very busy in Africa.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's important that we realize.
When did you start full circle?
So what did I say? Like the Chinese again. When I stayed at that place in Kilimani, I couldn't believe it when I saw Chinatown. I went from my apartment. We put this up on YouTube, and there was a Chinatown. I don't know about you guys. Everywhere I go, there's Chinatown. Here in Australia, in America, everywhere I've traveled to my life, there's a Chinatown. Why? Because they know. Smart. So that's what we're seeing, right? I even want to show you one interview I did just quickly. Just really quickly. So this guys is in Kenya. So for example, in a family, for example. So why am I showing you this? This is Richard Wolf. We have a very good relationship with them. They're a family wealth company in Westlands. This is his office in Westlands. Very nice office, right? I went to Westlands, like awesome. This is his office in Westlands. Why am I showing you that? Because that's where all these companies, you see, these guys they're from the UK. They operate a company there. I was doing a podcast there. So why am I showing you that? Because you see all these companies, and that's why I think Westlands is a very good area. Westlands is a great area. That's what a place I'm putting my money on, right? As I was looking here, like if I'm gonna go now I was thinking about this. If I'm gonna go for a rental property, I'm looking at Westlands, Kileleshwa, I have a place in Lavington. That's what I'm looking at. And we have some people in the WhatsApp group, they have places that you guys can go in if you want. But that's just what I'm showing you. Is the reason why I'm showing you is because there's people, these are where all the companies are. So you can get a place and actually do this. What other questions you guys have? If you guys want to book in a coaching session with me, again, what I'll just show you guys quickly is how you can do this within 8 weeks. So basically what we're doing, if you want to do this now and say, look, either you want to buy property, you can do that as well. Like we have a question here. If you want to get started on this, we have an 8-week property setup. This is what we went through, and we take people through this journey where there's also a consultation, but we get this done for you within 8 weeks. So usually what we do is they'll pay us, then they will sign a contract, and then they pay us. So we have a service agreement and then payment. Then we have our first strategy call. So we say, okay, where do you want to rent? Okay, I would say, okay, I think Westlands, I think Kileleshwa, Okay, what places do we have? So then we go in and we'll find you a place. That's where we meet with a real estate agent. We'll meet with a real estate agent or we meet with a landlord. We have people in the WhatsApp group that are landlords who literally own a place. So we can say, hey, let's see our options. We have an option in Kileleshwa, we have an option in Lavington, we have an option in Westlands, we speak to a real estate agent. And the good thing is with some of the landlords who are in our WhatsApp group, you don't even have to go through a real estate agent, right? Because real estate, we can go direct to the source, right? We go direct to a landlord. Okay, can you show us your place? This is how it looks like. And then what I do is I personally go to Nairobi, my next intake, I'm going there to now, and because it's my reputation on the line and we've got to get the best place, we'll now walk through that property. Here, we had to walk through the property. We didn't just see it online and then just pay. No, we had to walk through the property. We had to go there. We had to see the surrounding areas. I had to see what are the shops here. What are the places? If I had to go, I'd go in a place like a customer. That's how I go. And when I do for my clients, I had to go in as a customer. So that's very important. Before you get any property, make sure you can go in there or you have someone on the ground, exactly what we're doing. I've put in the chat box. If you look in the chat box, I've put in my link where you can now book in your coaching session. But basically, so we go in, walk through the property. Once we've walked through the property, we say to you, we film it with you, we show you, okay, guys, let's go. We sign the lease. Now you pay 1,500, you pay 1,800, you pay 2 months bond and thing. So now you've got a place 3 months. You've got, okay, I've got my place now. Cool. And this is in month 1. So as you're in month, let's say you pay our service, you get ready to pay your lease, you have 1 month. So you have some time to earn more income. You're working your job. Maybe you have some savings aside. You don't have to pull out 20 grand. You don't have to pull out 30 grand from your savings. No, even less, right? So for this, so boom, that's month 1. Month 2 is the furnishing part, where there may be some of you guys, a lot of women also are very good. They're good with the furnishing things. They like things like that. So some of our people say, hey, Sujiro, we want to furnish ourselves. Okay, cool. So now it's about furnishing. Once we get the furnishing done, we go through the furnishing, get the place again, and it has to be elegant. So that's in phase 2. That's another 3 to 4 weeks, I would say, right? About furnishing this place really nice. Once we've furnished it, then we just now get the marketing, do a video tour of the place. I can't stress the importance of that. We're lucky here. We can show our place look how many images I have. I'm pretty sure I'm standing out way more. This has 10 images. Yeah, these are, but I believe we're standing out way more. 7 images. Look, because people are not good at content. Well, we do content for fun. So it's really, getting the content and showing the content in a miraculous way. Because when you show if this relocation person comes to me and says, hey, Sujira, I've got someone who's looking for a 1-bedroom place. I've got someone who's looking for a 2-bedroom place. Of course, we're going to go show her in person. But even before they're going to go and waste their time to go look at it in person, what can you show me? Here you go. Boom, video. Here it's on YouTube. Here are the photos. So the content is very, very important. And that's what we do for people because that's come natural to us. So we get the content and then we list it out. We do some marketing. We have some strategy calls and say, hey, listen, let's put it up on Airbnb. Let's also get a full-time tenant in there straight away. Let's see if we can do that. Let's do both. So we can get short-term income through Airbnb. You don't have to pay rent out of your pocket. You've paid this. You've put this much money. You've invested a decent amount of money in there. Less than 20 grand, but you've invested the money in there. Okay, boom. Now you've done this, so you don't have to keep paying rent. Let's put it up on Airbnb. August is coming. September's coming. People are coming overseas. They're coming to travel to Kenya. Let's put it up on Airbnb. In the meantime, who knows, even between here and then now we're also now sourcing a long-term tenant. We're now speaking to the InTouch, relocation. We're listing it up. So this is where we list it up. Phase 3, by week 8, we've now listed it up. We've got the content. Even some of you guys, people. You know people who were traveling to Kenya. Do you know how many people, when you get your place, it's one of the best feelings in the world. Because even me, when I go to Kenya, I don't have to spend money on an Airbnb. I have a place that I can go to. But so many people that came up, oh, you got a place, man, you got a place, cool. They came up to me. I got bookings through my mom, where their customer service were helping them. Cash come in because of people that they know. So that's important. And then I would even say we even set up a website for the place. That's give or take, it depends. Things maybe come in terms of getting a tenant, but I would say maybe even we set up a place because you're going to own 5. You're going to own 6 places. My client or this person comes to me and says, Sujira, we need a place. Okay, this is one of our clients. They've furnished their place up. They have 4 places available here. This is the website, So and we do everything for you, right? In terms of that, you're just kind of funding the furnishing. The lawyer is very important here, right? We have a lease agreement as part of the lawyer. We refer the lawyer to you to be able to do the lease agreement. And then the last part, we have it on social media and then ongoing management of the property. So if someone is paying, let's say they're paying you 165 Kenya shillings a month, you need to be able to serve them as well. You're not just going to get free money. If you have unfurnished place and you put it up, hey, happy days. And you have unfurnished place, great. You know what I mean? Someone's going to furnish it for you. You don't. But now, when someone comes and stays at our place, I'm going to go above and beyond, just like I do for my business. Just like I got to go above and beyond for my clients. So it's about the ongoing management of the property. I'm here in Australia. I have my fiance running things on the ground, right? Usually, if I'm there in Kenya, even still, she's doing some of the customer service. Like we've had people that have come to us, some of our tenants or Airbnb, and they've wanted to do a surprise for their partner. We've been able to provide. They paid us. We went in, did a surprise for them, got the balloons. We did things like that, right? Being able to. So we're giving them more than just a stay. We're giving them an experience. People want to remember your place for an experience. Our tenants will do gifting, like, hey, we wake them up with, we do a breakfast, we do something. So that's how they're going to refer us to more customers. Now their family are coming to visit them. They can go stay at one of our other Airbnbs. So if you give good customer service, it's going to get, so that's very important when you have a property is the ongoing management. There's a lot of technology. So we get your apartment, there's a self-check-in. And what we do there, now when we manage people's property, we don't even charge them. We don't charge them. We just take commission on their earnings. So if you get someone, if you have your place $165,000 a month, you're paying rent, you get $700 left over, $1,000 left over. Now out of that $1,000, you got to put in expenses. You got to pay for the Wi-Fi. You got to pay for the cleaning. Then you just pay we take 10% commission just to look after the customers. That's not coming out of your pocket. Let's say out of the $1,000, take home, let's say to be conservative, you take home $600 cash out of any expenses, and I'm just to be safe. Imagine $600 coming in, and you don't have to, and you'll just be able to see everything on WhatsApp. Your clients are getting looked after, right? So, before we get out of here, and that's basically how we get set up in 8 weeks. So at the moment, right now, we've just only one more person because it's quite intensive on our side. We have to deliver. We've got a reputation, and I know you guys, by 8 weeks you're going to want a tenant in there. Either you want Airbnb or a full-time tenant. So it's about optimizing your place. So kind of going through this whole phase, it's about really not just being able to do everything with everyone, but it's about with people who are long-term thinkers, people who are thinking long-term, who know this is a long-term game. I'm willing to do this. What's the worst case scenario can happen? Okay, if I got to, cool, I can cope with that. Yes, I know to be able to make money, I got to invest money. Those are also the people that we're looking to work with. But if this webinar just helped you just to get advice and you can do this yourself, then that's what this is for too. Because, we can't serve everyone. So this is just here for you to be able to take the information from me, and you can even go do it yourself if you can. I would encourage you, because I did it myself. I didn't have someone like me to do this. I didn't have someone I could pay to do this, where I can say, go, set my place up, and then, also get me a long-term client. Of course, I had my fiance, but I'm doing it with her because I'm also the business mind, so I got to have someone who's executing. She is executing on the ground, furnishing, doing, what she's good at. I'm doing what I'm good at, which is the business mind. So now through doing that, I said, you know what? I can help people who are just like me, who are just like my own mom. And that's for you too, right? So if you got value out of this, let me know. If you have any other questions, let me know. I've put my link in the chat here for you to book in your session. I would always say, book in the session with your partner, whoever, and we go through it together, okay? If you don't have any more questions, it's been a pleasure having you guys, and it's really about you to take action on this, okay? I'll give you guys and if you want to join the WhatsApp group, what I'll do is I'll put the link in the chat for the WhatsApp group, and then you guys can join the WhatsApp group if you haven't joined already. We've already got some people here who've joined. Let's put it in there. Apart from that, I'll see you guys on the other side, and let's keep building. So I'll just get the link. Okay, I'll put in the WhatsApp group, guys. Feel free to join if you haven't already, and we'll see you guys on the other side. So you can join the WhatsApp group in there, where we'll be able to go in and you can ask questions, and that's just to be part of this. Some of you might not be ready now. You might be ready in 3 months in our next intake. You might be ready in 6 months. You might be ready a year from now. That, it really depends on you. Again, for me, just what's happening in Kenya now, there's no greater opportunity to do this. I don't believe in oversaturation. Yes, there's going to be apartments, but I always say, what's going to make your apartment different to everyone else? That's what I question myself every single day. I say, Sujira, what's going to make your apartment different to everyone else? But I've been running a business and we've been doing things, so I know what we're separating. But you got to ask yourself that question, and that's what we work on. What's going to make it different? But once you do that, I'm telling you, you're going to get bookings. I promise you that. You will get bookings. Faith in the journey, investing in this. But you don't have to own a property to do this. And I showed you guys how to do this in this webinar. So you have my link for the booking and coaching session.